Well, without further ado, Carroll Shelby certainly needs no introduction to anyone here. That doesn't mean he's going to escape. As every year goes by, it seems that Carroll becomes more modest about what he did in the 1960s. If you pick up any automobile magazine between 1962 and 1966, you'd think he was the 1960s. He's quick to say that he had a lot of help, and it was all first rate. He came out to the convention from California right after some painful but minor surgery, and the doctors told him to stay out of the sun, so that's why he restricted himself to only about 5,000 autographs yesterday and today. He's managed to pack more into one lifetime than most of us could get into a dozen. And if you think there's anyone in this room or on this planet who enjoys these cars and these conventions more than Carroll Shelby, then think again. Carroll, would you like to say a few words?
You know how I feel about all of you. I think we're a family. That's the reason we're sitting here in our shirt sleeves. Very few of us have ties on, and next year, none of those people have ties on. As we started down the road last night, I had a little story about each one of those people. I had a little story about everybody tonight. Old William Jeans didn't show up. Well, I got a lot of stories from him when he came out of West Texas blowing that sand out of his nostrils and pouring it out of his shoes about 25 years ago, and became a person on the national scene as far as automobiles are concerned that meant something. And I'm very sorry he isn't here tonight, but the son of a bitch should have been here. I think he missed a lot. I'll let him know about it for all of you people too. I was so happy tonight, I didn't know that George Damon Levy, I used to know him as Old George. When he was a young man, when he started out in this business, you could tell that he had a gleam in his eye that he was going to be successful. He still has that, and I'm proud of him, and I'm proud to be on the same podium with him because, folks, you haven't heard the last of this man yet. I don't know where he's going, I don't know where his head is, but he's done a wonderful job, as far as I'm concerned, of moving into a very difficult situation there at Auto Week, which we all read every week. It's kind of our Bible. And I know I look at it, and he's been very kind to me, but I've tried to be very kind to him also because I believe in him and I believe what he is trying to do. I know that he loves this sport with all of his heart. I know that he might be an opinionated bastard, but if you don't give a guy the right to be opinionated, then you take away his creativity. And I was kind of hoping to ask old Austin Craig up here tonight because he's a good cushion. Here's a man that I'm sure you all realize there might be a few problems between me. It has nothing to do with Ford and Chrysler, but there are a couple of things that I happen to feel happen to feel very strongly about, and that happens to be the thing that there's a 427 Cobra out there running around that people are saying that it's original. I say it's not. And I intend to do something about it. That doesn't mean that Paul Proust and I haven't been friends for many years. And Paul Proust, in my opinion, is as fine a PR person as ever lived on this planet, and I wish that I had him in my camp today. But he's not there. But that doesn't make any difference. We're still friends. And there's a lot of things that you people out there wonder about. What's happening? Where is this thing going? Why is Shelby now with Chrysler? That's very simple. Ford wanted Jackie Stewart. I sat around for a couple of years, and Lee Iacocca said, well, would you come to work for me and try to do something? That's where it is. And I happen to love Jackie Stewart. I love his brother more because I used to drive with him on the Aston Martin team in 1954 when John Wire first asked me to go to Europe. So there's a lot of things that you guys would like to have the answer to. But all I say is, let's don't build cars that are replicas and call them the original. Wouldn't have is because it seems to me that those cars were built and developed by people like Ken Miles, Phil Remington. Ford had a lot to do with it. I'll never take anything they had to do with it. But as I told you last night, Klaus Arning, Bob Negstead, those people went over there on their vacation because we never had the budget to build these cars. We never had them. Never had the budget. And they did it on their own. And I could name you 1,000 people that made it happen. And if I was ever anything, it was only the little guy that was sitting there that was trying to put these people together and trying to see that they got something done that I loved and I really believed in. And I appreciate so much all of you people coming here and showing that allegiance. And I'll tell you, I'm going to fight till I'm shitty as a goat to see that the people that give $80,000 for a 427 Cobra don't have somebody come along and say you can buy it for $40,000 today. I was lucky enough to sell my chili company. You know how that thing started. I could sit here and talk to you 2 or 3 hours about how that started. It started with nothing. I just had 200,000 acres of land that I gave $7 an acre for and 50 cents down in southwest Texas on the Mexican border. George Levy's been down there with me. We went down there to a rally 3 or 4 years ago. And, God damn, these mosquitoes around here are bad. Anyway, I had it, and I wanted to sell it. And I didn't know how to sell it, and an old boy named Tom Tierney, who was Don Fry, a lot of you heard of Don Fry. Well, if there's ever a father of the Mustang, it's Don Fry. And Hal Sperlich. And Iacocca approved it. He approved the program. But I know where the Mustang came from, and I can tell you every move in the thing. And Al Sperlich, who happens to be president of Chrysler today, also is a guy that is more the father of the GT40 than anybody in the world. But that's neither here nor there. I'm going to write a book about how these things all started, because every son of a bitch in the world is writing a book about how the GT40 started. Every son of a bitch in the world is writing a book about how the Englishmen built all the Cobras. Well, just as a little sidelight, people at Ford moonlight and built the Cobra. And that's the way all the engineering that was really necessary. You know I'm not an engineer, I'm a promoter. I never said that I was anything else. But all these things came together, and I want you to know that I'm going to fight for the people in this club that bought these cars, no matter where they came from, and we're going to win it because I happen to buy this land for a little bit an acre, sell it for a little more, and I just sold the chili company to Kraft for enough money that I can take any son of a bitch on I want to. I'm 63 years old. I love my cars more than anything in the world. We're building with another company now, but that doesn't mean that I hate Ford, because I love so many people at Ford you can't believe it. And they're the things that made all these cars happen out there. It wasn't me, as I told you last night. There are so many people at Ford that I haven't brought their name up here that made all of this happen, that I don't want you to take this as a negative sort of situation that I'm standing up here. I happen to work with the people over at Chrysler now, but that doesn't mean that I don't love every one of you and everything you stand for. And I want to thank you for showing up here the way you have, the enthusiasm. You wore my right hand out today and yesterday, and I want to be here forever to let you wear it out from now on. Thank you.
We've seen some of these Carroll Shelby for President bumper stickers and buttons around. I would think that the people in this room would comprise a pretty good advance team. Is William Jeans here? Not yet. Okay, well, we'll still hold on. We've got some trophies to give out. That's going to take some time. The trophies this year are the nicest ones that we've ever had. And after last year's awards, of course that was no trick, I'd like to take the credit for finding the company that made them